when was the first time you felt like a man? And I'm not talking like,
No.
I'm 16, I just did a thing, da 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 da. I'm talking like a sobering, like,
Yeah.
whoa, I've leveled up here.
The level up is the phrase I would use. Absolutely. For me, it's like a computer game borrowing thing of when you level up and you have access to skills and weapons that you didn't have before.
Oh, woo!
Make sense?
Yes.
That's why I call it leveling up, because there are things that only happen and perspectives you can only have after you've leveled up. So one of the first ones for me, I remember it happening in a moment, and they happen in moments, like immediately, not over time periods, just like in a game, level 7, and it flashes on the screen, and now you can unlock that new wrist belt, that's a word, wrist blade. And it was, my brother was getting married. We're down in Cork, and we're at the practice wedding session. And he's standing in front of me, and everyone's wearing their civvies, no one's dressed up yet, and they're just going through what the ceremony is going to be. I'm just sitting in the second row, and I suddenly go, he's getting married. And I turned to my mom, who's already in tears anyway, and I said, he's getting married. And she goes, there it is. Si finally gets it, yay, he's on board. And I remember just thinking, wow, this shit is serious. Mm-hmm. As in, life is serious. There are things that are important now, and I didn't twig. I didn't twig. So I leveled up in that tiny little moment. I didn't know what it was, but I remember that when looking back, when I had other level ups, that's what the first one was. Second one was when I became an uncle, and I held Toby, my nephew, for the first time.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, this shit is serious. Now I have a responsibility. The first time it was like responsibility for you need to kind of grow up.
Yeah.
The second one was responsibility. You have a nephew, so you need to wise up, Then, of course, getting married was another big one. But the biggest was becoming a dad. My son, that was the first. Like, there was just so many things in my life that no longer mattered, that were not important. Things I worried about, things I stressed about and was anxious about, that just did not matter anymore. And there were way more important things to concern yourself with, Okay.
Why is it that whenever you have a son, you become a father, and when you have a daughter,
right,
you become a man?
So this is a buddy of mine in the States called Ricky, who I stayed with for a couple of days because we were looking at human trafficking and doing a documentary on human trafficking. And Ricky was talking to me about, being a dad. And I think I said to him, I never want a daughter. Because I was studying human trafficking, for goodness sake. You know what I mean? And I was seeing what men were like in the basest level, and just thinking, how the hell do you raise a daughter in that world? Mm-hmm. And Ricky said to me, when you have a son, you become a dad. And when you have a daughter, you become a man. And I heard the challenge in his statement, and I said, I have to do this. Because I have to complete the game of life, this game that we're playing. And I think things like going to university and getting married and all those things, I think they kind of they change me into better versions of me every single time. I remember writing on Facebook something like becoming a parent can make you the best version of yourself if you let it. It can also make you into a complete monster if you don't. But rising up to the challenge of trying to become a good parent and working hard at it, I think will make you the best version of yourself.
I agree with that. I think it's like marriage on steroids. It's character formation of the highest level.
Yes.
Because every other piece of my life, like I can come in here and I can put on a show and I can be professional and I can be innovative and creative. Yeah. And then I can go home and be a monster.
Yeah.
And I
can't make a pastor's kid.
Yeah. I can't box my family like that. No. Do you know what I mean? Like they see me and I see them at the worst.
Yeah.
And in the tiredness and in the late nights and somebody's sick and this has happened. And it's the relentlessness of
that's it.
I think is the hard bit, but also the the gold.
That it's in that space. It's in that space that it happens when you are like it's like SAS deprivation training. It's we need to see you at the very, very worst, how you will handle things. So we're going to bring you to the very end of yourself and then go, and here's one more. Did you go over the edge or did you stick with the plan? And that's what I think parenting is. And I think marriage is absolutely like that. And parenting is all of that minus sleep. You know, when you cannot physically find time for yourself to take care of yourself half the time, you know. And you can squeeze that in at a cost of your family, or you can push harder. And I know I've definitely squeezed in plenty of moments where I just go, I have to leave.
Sure.
I have to go outside that door now, because if I don't, people may die. I don't want you guys to see this. So it's being asked to be on form all the time.
Yeah.
You know.
What did having a daughter, because you had a son first, right?
Yeah, thankfully.
What did
training ground
having a daughter second do to you? Like if we use your like analogy of the video game, what extra bits of gear, what areas of strength kind of grew from having a daughter? It
calls out of you what a real man's meant to be, because you have to teach this girl what she should be looking for. That's it, right? Your eyes just went wild. I think that's it. So it therefore calls the best of you to come to the fore.
Wow.
Because she is watching this. She's going to base every relationship and every decision with men based on your performance right now. I think that's it.
I think that's it.
I got chills, so I think that feels right to me. Yeah. Because I remember watching, I shouldn't mention him by name, but watching this very famous motivational speaker who's very rich. Not mention his name. Somebody stood up in his audience one time and just explained their story, and he said, "What was your dad like?" And she said, "Oh, my dad was the best. My dad was loving. He was there for me. He was kind. He just showed me what men were like, you know." And this sensationalist kind of guy just went, "What a mother," and just everyone was, "Woo!" What an audacious thing to say about it. You know, what everyone would suspect would be, you know, "Oh, lovely." But he went the other way. And he said, "This guy ruined you for life. He set the bar way too high. You would never find a man like that." And I thought, you scumbag. That's exactly what a dad is meant to do. He is meant to set the bar extremely high so that no girl, no woman ever settles for less than being treated like the queen she should be. Than being treated like she is sought after, precious, valuable to be around, and worth chasing, worth saving. Imagine a woman who feels that way.
Just really interesting. You put words to something that I've felt and experienced that I haven't been able to articulate before. And it was meeting and being in a relationship with my now wife's father. And I felt, and I still feel when I spend time with him, it feels like this. And you know what that is? That's me rising up to his standard.
Rising his standard.
Because I know that he is an honourable man, and he is a fighter, and he's done some incredible things. Awesome. And that's what I felt. Like the first time I went to Germany, I felt like a little boy. Like I felt like I was about 6 years old.
Why?
Because
in what way?
Because of how manly this guy was.
Right.
And it's not like he's like super muscly, or it's not like he can build a house made out of, trees he finds in the forest. Yeah. But there's just, he is that rock to his family.
Yeah.
And when I spent time with him, I felt like I was being pulled up by him.
Yeah.
And that's really cool.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah. That's the thing, is it's realizing that when you're now a leader, you're no longer this follower, you're no longer this little boy. When you've got kids, I have to lead these practice humans, these L-plate people. You can miss it entirely. Like I said, being a dad can make you the best version of yourself or not. It's your call. You can decide to face it and fight it and go along with it.
Yeah.
Or you can just, it's like if you have trauma, if you have any problems, any hang-ups, any buttons, things like that, you can completely allow them to stay. Or you can go, I see the bigger picture here of what happens if I stay a mess. Because I mean, my dad, he was messed up as a kid, and this has brought me a lot of healing as to why he reacted in certain ways and things that he just, like even recently. So we have a really good relationship now, which is a freaking miracle from God. It has to be that he is able to be this person now, and actually a dad to me. He had no idea, because he wasn't surrounded by psychologists every day on the internet on his phone telling him you need healing. I married a trauma specialist, for goodness sake. So it's talk about your serendipitous blessing, destiny, whatever you want. So he even recently just saying to him, Dad, do you realize that when that happens, that's a huge attachment issue right there?
Yeah.
Like that's you not firmly attached to your parents, to your mom. Do you realize what that does to a kid? So he is feeling this, like I'm giving him grace, and he is feeling the mercy he's feeling, but also the recognition of I'm not this evil bastard.
Yeah.
Because this is the most annoying thing about my dad that I knew growing up. I watched him with other kids, and he would just seem like the most amazing dad with other people. And I remember being really angry going, that's not what he's like with me.
Yeah, of course.
But what really annoyed me the most was the fact that my dad had a good heart in there. And I knew he did. I don't know if everyone would agree with that, but I could see a good heart in him. And I have a gift for that, seeing potential in people and seeing what they could become, and looking past raw to, and maybe growing up with him taught me that, of just being able to look past the raw and see the real person inside and what fences they're putting up.